This is actually Ken Roczen's race bike and I get to ride it today. What's up guys, got a cool one for you today. I guess if it wasn't a cool one we wouldn't be posting it, but it's Monday. It's the Monday after the Super Motocross at LA and we're heading out to Fox Raceway to pick up some 2024 RM-Zs. And word on the street is we might get a chance to ride Ken Roczen's race bike from Saturday night. So hopefully the rumors are true. Should be a fun day. Sometimes Mondays don't suck. Made it to Paula. We got the full HEP setup over here. Suzuki truck over here. All the bikes. Cycle News 24th. Super sick. Whole fleet of Suzukis. And everybody else down there. 450. All right, what's up guys? Bike for today, 2024 RM-Z450. We're also gonna be riding the 250, but it's still over there somewhere. This is the RM Army Edition, so you get the Pro Circuit pipe and silencer, team graphics, which look really good. I think that's it. You still get the Dunlop tires, really cool graphics kit, looks really factory. We put some DecalWorks graphics on here, stock bars, clamps. It's got Pro Circuit mapping in it. So that's gonna be specifically for this exhaust. You get Nissan brakes and a cable clutch like normal. Bike hasn't really been updated since it was fully redone in 2018. Still really fun. I've been riding a Suzuki for the past few years and yeah, really excited to ride a little bit of the hopped up version. All right, you guys wanna know how the carbon tips sound? Definitely gives the bike more bark. Especially from down low, just more responsive. The track so you can tell. Really slippery, still really deep. All right, over here we got Kyle Chisholm's bike. He is still teammates with Kenny, even though he rides for the Twisted Tea team. It's the same ownership, just different branding because obviously Kenny can't ride for Twisted Tea when he's a Red Bull athlete. So you can see Pro Circuit exhaust, Hinton clutch, Boyce and super cooler. This is my favorite part right here. Look at these fork tubes. These things are so sick. Stock outers, I believe, and then coated lowers. This is straight off the floor from LA Super Motocross on Saturday night. You can see the different engine mounts, big sharp pegs. These guys are Mika, where Kenny is Renthal, so a few differences. Yellow seat, and then you can check out these fork caps. So he's on the spring fork, where Kenny is on the air fork. All right, here's Roczen's bike, straight off the floor, LA Super Motocross. He's running an air fork with no coated lowers. You can see just standard. You can also see my croissant muffin thing. He rides for the Progressive X-Star Suzuki team because, like I said earlier, he can't obviously ride for the Twisted Tea team. You can see Kenny's bike looking around here. The yellow, black, and white is a cool, unique look. Kind of reminds me of the old RCH bikes when he rode for them. Renthal sprockets down here all black seat cover, Pro Circuit exhaust. That was a big thing for Kenny when he switched over to this team. A few differences between that bike, the Twisted T bike, and Kenny's bike. This is the one that's straight off the floor from LA Super Motocross, and then this one over here is a almost identical setup, but this has the Chicago Super Motocross setup inside it. That's Kenny's race bike from the floor, but with outdoor suspension on it. And then this one is just a little bit different over here. Which one do you like more, the yellow blue or the black and yellow? They heard it's Suzuki Day because they brought out the big guns.
Oh man, what we're gonna tell the fans about the Suzuki is
it's been a long time coming. You called it.
It's been a long time.
You know why they called him out? They called him out here. They said, Biggie, we need you to show Kenny how to ride a bike. For real, for real.
I want to see some clutching and some brake tapping.
You will hear it clutching.
Look at the Biggie Zoid. Bark that thing. Had to bust out the Barbed and Dangerous. Such a obnoxious kit, but it looks so good. Even these boots, haven't worn these before. Freshies. If you're running the Roczen bike, gotta run some Roczen gear. All right, you guys, we're at Paula Raceway, and I can't believe this is happening. This is actually Ken Roczen's race bike from Saturday night, and I get to ride it today. Absolutely unreal. Kickstart Kenny doing me dirty. Gotta find neutral. It's super hard to find neutral on this bike for a reason, because it's a factory race bike. Let's see if that helps us. Come on, Kenny. There we go. Make sure we're good to go. Everybody wants to know Ken Roczen's race bike versus a stock RM-Z. This is my first time riding the RM Army Edition, so a little bit different than the stock Suzuki that I've ridden, you know, a bunch of times in the past. This bike has a Pro Circuit header and exhaust with a Pro Circuit tuned map inside. So the throttle response is way better. It carries a lot better from the bottom to mid to top, and then even the over rev. So if you're gonna get a Suzuki, just get this edition because it's a lot better from the factory. You could obviously go get a Yosh or an FMF, but buying it stock out of the showroom, just being able to roll it out like this is super sick. And yeah, it makes a big difference, I think. It's a lot more fun. You don't have to mess with the mapping. I know they have an MX Tuner app that I've played with before, but I'd rather just have it come straight from the factory like this and just ready to ride. And I know you guys want to know how Ken Roczen's bike was. Ken Roczen's bike was so sick. They rolled it straight from the Coliseum here. They put his Chicagoland Super Motocross suspension in on it, and it's everything I like about this bike, but just way better. The transmission has been all tumbled and it's super clean. It's almost like when you find the right gear, it's super engaging, but they almost make it to where when you bump the gear shifter, it doesn't shift. You actually really have to click it to engage it, but it's cleaner and feels more precise than the stock tranny does, because the stock transmission is kind of clunky. I think it's sometimes hard to find a gear and doesn't really feel as clean. But Kenny's bike, yeah, the transmission was so good, and the gearing of the bike overall, I left it in second gear for almost the entire track, which was crazy to ride Paula in almost all second gear, but the way it pulls from the bottom and then just all the way, it's super long and linear, and just really goes to show like Kenny could probably ride that bike for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, no problem, and not get tired, because the engine character it's not super pull your arms off like maybe some of the bikes are. It's not like overly fast. It's really good and really smooth, and just makes it so you can ride it all day. The other thing that really stood out to me was the suspension, because the stock Suzuki earlier today, I was getting a lot of pitching forward and back. I couldn't get the fork to engage and the shock felt too soft. Kenny actually runs an air fork, which is crazy. I didn't think I would like that. But the way the balance of the bike is so much better, and it's a little bit stiff at the beginning, but right after you crack the top of that crust of the fork, it's so plush to that mid, so you can kind of go long on stuff. It gives you that hold up, but once you get into that stuff, you know, you can really just gives you more confidence to ride through that stuff faster. The engine braking on the engine is a lot less, so you can kind of coast through stuff, carry speed. It's just overall just a better bike. It's still this platform, but just everything about it is better, if that makes sense. And the one thing that I did stand out is the finding neutral is super hard on that bike, because it's a race bike. You have to really search for neutral, and it doesn't want to start in gear. So I did stall it a couple of times, and it takes a little bit to find neutral. But yeah, overall just an awesome experience. My first time riding a factory bike, so really big thanks to the guys at Suzuki, and big thanks to Cycle News as well. You guys know I always do a video for them, so be sure to check out those guys' videos, and the Cycle News website, where you can find 50 issues of Cycle News magazine for free at cyclenews.com. All right guys, that wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching. Fox Raceway, RM-Z450, Ken Roczen's factory race bike. So fun, so sick. Can't believe I get to do this as my job. Thanks guys, see you next time.